This week on Boot-Trac Adventures, we're going to the dark side. No, we're not doing any crazy Star Wars stuff. We're going to be going black bear hunting in Wisconsin. Parker Gade drew a bear tag, and he and his dad Chris are going to let us tag along as they show us how they pick their spots, set them up, and then take us along hunting. Now, they've done this before, so they have some idea of what they're doing, and just like anything else, everybody that does this has a little different way of doing it. So let's go along with them and see just exactly how they do it and if they're successful.
So here's the trail we walked in, and then we got into here, and this is where I found that old bear bait. I mean, they've been digging in here for years. Like just a big deep hole. It's got to be 4 feet deep. Old stump like this. Guy must have tied it off there. But there's old stumps laying all over in here that are busted open. Real old ones. Found an old stump like this with that notch in it for fitting in the top. But we're putting the bait up. You can see where Parker is. That log is like a natural funnel there to get them to come up on the other side. And you can see the old trail kind of winds down to the base of that log down there. Or the bait's right where Parker is. We're going to go to the right of where he is. There's a few pine trees there. And that'll be a good wind for most of the fall. Pretty cool spot. Heavy skunk. Picked up 5 grouse coming in. It's always awesome.
They're on these birch logs.
We only got about 100 yards here to go. Checking out another spot. There's a lake in here. There's a little piece of public that hits that lake. It's a private lake. And we saw a lot of bear tracks in the mud going in there last year, so we're going to try to put a bear bait right down in here somewhere. Had a beautiful day today, so we're coming up just to start to get some bear stumps out. And Parker's got a tag this year, so today's the day. All in, all the big stumps, and all the heavy work is done today. Let's check out, see if we have any tracks. We'll put some cameras out already. And exploring last fall, I found a really old bear bait in here. Probably hasn't been baited in 5-6 years. Just a giant hole. So we're going to go in just past that and set up a new bait. There's a marsh down in here and it's all wet. We just walk down in there, and then this ridge goes up and it flattens out into some pines and some oaks. So if you have a good acorn crop, you can see the bears cruising in there, but it's literally 50 yards in here, drops way down into a marsh. So we're going to stay up on the high side. We got a lot of buck activity in here too. Maybe get a bonus through the buck and the bear. But now we got to get the stump in there, so woohoo! We couldn't get side by side in here anymore. There's so much mud and water. So flooded, they got like 5 inches of rain here. It's a set of wolf tracks. Look like a female and a male set. But you can kind of see the lake right through there. We're probably, what, 100 yards from the lake. This is real thick cedars. This will be perfect down in here. They'll funnel along this thicker spot right here. Bears and deers. But we'll see. Big thing when you're baiting is never have the guy who's running the bait check the camera, because you're going to get scent on it and then they're going to destroy your cameras on you. When we put the tactic cams up, either we put it in the tree right there, up in the air higher, or we sneak it right in there on that tree. Tends to work pretty good. It's hidden.
This segment brought to you by Scenic Bluffs Outfitters, North Central Wisconsin's guide service for fish, deer, turkey, bear in zones C and E, and now Wisconsin elk hunts too. By Tree Stand and Ladder Stand Buddy, the safest way to put up your lock-on and ladder stands. And by Pete Shoe Dryer, helping keep your shoes, boots, and accessories dry and odor-free since 1968. All feet love Pete.
All right, we got 5 days until the Wisconsin bear opener. So we're just prepping a bunch of baits today. We're going to bait today, tomorrow, and Parker's going to come back up and bait right before season opens. We've got 5 baits that we're running. Of those 5, we have 5 big bears. So the other night we drove up during the weekend, we baited, and within like 45 minutes we had 5 bears, probably all over 250 pounds, hitting the baits all at the same time, which was kind of crazy. And then they went kind of dead for 2 days. And I think, you know, they can smell when we spray, and then they can see when the stumps are set up and stuff. So I think some of them are coming in, checking the baits, but they're not actually going in and hitting the baits. At least that's what we're hoping. I'm going to get all the baits ready for today, tomorrow, and then have a set that'll be ready for when he comes up. I'm going to get all these baits set up, and then we'll head out and bait. Stay tuned. We'll see if it gets exciting. This is our messy bait shed right now. So we got barrels of peanut butter, chocolate peanut butter wafer stuff, kind of like the Nutter Butter flavored popcorn. We got acorn, trail mix, gummy bears, candy corn. So I got to dig into all that, and then we put just a mixture in each one of the buckets and bait about 4 to 5 gallons at a time. So when we're baiting, we'll bring a variety of, these are gum drops, just a scoop of gum drops. We like sweet. We try not to give them much chocolate. We've got marshmallows, protein bars, then we have bags of caramel and different flavored stuff like this that we put on for the toppings. This is the wafer stuff that we use. It's kind of wafer chocolate peanut, I think it's Nutter Butter stuff, but you have all that. We put some of that in every one, some marshmallows, you know, just a variety. Try to give them something that they're going to love. So sucky part is when you have to unwrap everything. Takes a long time. That's why I said it takes like an hour and a half to bait, because you're individually unwrapping all sorts of bars and stuff like that. So that takes a little bit of time. Anything else, old expired cereal that you have at home, peanut butter, you know, all sorts of different types of things that they're going to like. Well, we got them ready. Took about an hour and a half. Got the side-by-side loaded up for the first couple baits. And then I take my Rambo electric bike back on some other baits that are not allowed to be traversed by UTV or ATV. Get some baits going and see how long it takes for the bears to come in. Got our golden mist, got some apples, throw those in the bait. We got 6 toms just sitting in the road chilling, going up to set bear baits. I do a terrible call, just make any kind of noise and they gobble back at us. Kind of cool.
I slammed the door and they probably that one is pretty big on the front side here.
Yeah, they're just right down from our land too.
A bunch of jakes and a couple hens. A bunch of hens, 2 jakes.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. Got a couple weeks here before Wisconsin bear season opens, so we gotta put stands up and trim shooting lanes and all that good stuff. So this is the first bait. We got 5 sets to set today. Luckily it's only 68 degrees and it's a little bit overcast. We got 1 set in. We're only about 8 feet off the ground on this one. Part of the reason is we're quite a ways up above the bait. Even though he's only 8 feet off the ground, he's probably 16 to 20 feet above the bait. But also there's a trail down on the bottom down there, which he'd be about 25 feet above. So with bear, you don't want to have that kind of an angle with a bow. We just got to walk back out, get the bait, come in. We'll see how temperamental these bears are. And all right, first time we're going back in. Check the baits after we set them. So we set them about 3 weeks ago. We're going to go in and check them for the first time.
This segment brought to you by Vortex Optics. Quality, affordable optics with an unconditional lifetime warranty. By Interlock Broadheads. American-made mechanical and fixed blade broadheads that fly like field points and put your game down fast. And by Paradise Valley Concrete Specialties. Based in Warrens, Wisconsin, they can do all types of flatwork and concrete construction, specializing in stamped and colored patios, sidewalks, and driveways. What I've got here is the original Pete shoe dryer, and the name says it all. Gene Pete invented the boot dryer back in 1968, and the Pete family has been manufacturing them ever since. The appearance of these units has changed very little over the years, maybe a couple of cosmetic changes, and that's about it. And how they work has remained the same as well. Plug it into any 120 volt power source. The heaters in the base of the unit create warm air which flows up the tubes into the shoes or boots, and it dries them out, eliminating bacteria and odors. These units are economical to run. In fact, during the hunting season, I pretty much plug mine in and leave it plugged in, and my hunting boots stay on there all the time, so they're ready to go when I am. And they're American made. They also make products to dry other items, so to see their complete lineup of drying items, go to PeteDryer.com, and remember, dry responsibly.
Good sign, it's hit. So we got the camera, we'll check the camera and see, but it's a good sign that it got hit, so let's go on in. Oh yeah, they've been in here. They got her all flattened out. When you set a new bait, it's a lot of times hit or miss. They got her cleaned right up. We'll bait her back up. We got popcorn, Fruit Loops, a little bit of everything. And then we got mosquitoes too, pretty bad. But we just put a little flavor on there. And then we always spread that oil around. And that will, they track that with their paws. Looks like he's coming in that way. It's like a scent trail then. And then, you know, the vanilla or whatever kind of scent you want to have. But just spray it around. Get it high in the trees. You know when it's bear season because you smell like sweet maple or vanilla. We don't wear gloves. Some guys will wear gloves, but we want them to get used to our scent. I see they were trying to get at the camera. They got it all mudded up. They got paw prints all over this camera. Hopefully it's not cubs. Cubs tend to like to do that. We'll check the camera here and then we're off to bait the next three. So this is bear bait 2, all set up with raccoon preventative so they don't get their little paws in there. So we can see we got the stand is right there. So we got about, it's 18 yards to the stand. There's a trail that comes through within 5 yards of the stand. A few years back, my daughter Allie shot a big bear. He came in and laid down right off the bait right there. 380 pounds was the dressed weight on that thing. It was a big one. We have our scent thing hanging in the tree up here. Spray that up and gets it all scented. There was a big one on here this morning. Alright, so this morning then we're at bear bait. We call Big Hole. Probably the bait that will sit when we sneak in here after work on Friday. Just going in checking baits. Parker got the bear tag this year. So today we're going to hang a scent rig up in the tree. And then we got a duck decoy weight that goes on the end with it. So that way you can put it in the air and then pull it down, re-scent it, stick it back up. So we're on a ridge here. We think that would be fantastic for scenting this whole bottom. If you can get that scent wick way up in the air, saturated every time you come in, it'll fill this whole bottom with scent. Also help when you're sitting. Oh, you can see where his tracks are going in here. Oh, look at the little salamander by your foot. Little blue spotted salamander. Probably feeding on all these slugs. Come here, buddy. Get a look at him here. Hey, buddy.
in the hole.
You can see the trail just to the left of Parker. It's one of the trails they come in on. There's a Y right here. Ooh, a little slippery.
This segment brought to you by Boning Archery, your archery supply dealer for over 75 years. Reveal Cellular Trail Cams. Scenic Bluffs Outfitters, your hunting and fishing outfitter and land management specialist in north central Wisconsin. And by Paradise Valley Concrete Specialties. Based in Warrens, Wisconsin, they can do all types of flatwork and concrete construction, specializing in stamped and colored patios, sidewalks, and driveways.
There's a track about the size of my foot right on this one. So it's about a 20-yard shot with the bow. And then this is the other trail they come in on. And they stop in the same track every time. Alright, so we got... This is one of the original reveals we have the bear boxes for. The one antenna, then we have two bear boxes for them, which is perfect. And this bear bait we had to move a little bit because they filled it up with water and broke our stump topper. We got the Tacticams working. We just put up a reveal today. I mean, we have cameras on them now, but it sure is nice to have them sent to your phone. That instant, it's a little high. Just a little bit high, yeah. So we just got to bring her down a little bit. Well, this bear bait we put Tacticam reveal on. We have that camera right over there, and then we have another camera over here. Get both angles. Also to check and see if people are coming in on our baits. But we've been getting a lot of rain, so we had to move the stump up out of there. Otherwise, it gets all full of water. We have 3 big bears that we know are coming into this bait. So we'll bait, and then we'll see how long it takes for the bears to come in, because they must be pretty close, because they come in and check it all the time. So this one's got raccoons on it, so we got to make sure we put the heavy toppers on. This is like a byproduct of beer, but it's really sweet. Nice thing about this is the sun beats down on this spot during the day, and then it warms that up and it puts scent all over into the marsh here too. And then the last thing is you just kind of gotta spray scent all around. This is vanilla, so it just kind of covers your scent, but don't ever spray it. Oop, right in my face, the wind's coming out of the north. Don't spray it by your cameras, because you're going to have a problem and it'll get costly. So you can see the Tacticam is right over there on that tree, so we're probably sending lots of pictures. Parker will be seeing that we're baiting. He's got to work this week, so it's July 1st, so we just came up for the 4th of July week. So Parker really wants to shoot his bear with his bow, but I'm going to sight the rifle in just to make sure. This is his gun. In the bullseye, so it's on. We always double check it and make sure it's humane shots on these animals. Make sure your gun is accurate. So, all right. Now it's waiting 4 more days and we get to go hunt. So, our 3rd baiting trip. The mosquitoes are terrible. But so far the first 2 baits have been hit. Now we're going in. This is a pretty wet one next to a lake, so we're going to go and check it out. This one had solid 4 cubs on it, so, and baby cubs, so we'll see. That kind of noise is like a dinner bell, so you try to make as much noise with the buckets as you can. That's what we call bear bait number 2. Some raccoons found in this one, so you gotta make sure they can't get their dirty little paws underneath. Otherwise they'll rob you clean. All right. Good.
was always on fire. Our house, our dream. We were dancing on a wire.
Always have your hunter safety system in your line.